Not too long ago, it might have been a little embarrassing to admit that you got your artichoke dress shirt at a thrift store, even if it is objectively awesome. But with the rise of online marketplaces like Depop, Poshmark, and ThredUp, Macklemore's dream of a thrifted world is finally coming true. These days, not only is it acceptable to get your stuff used, but even chic. Thanks to these new platforms, the global secondhand market is now worth about 33 billion US dollars. And that's expected to double in a few years' time. Depop was founded in the fashion hub of Milan in 2011 by Simon Beckerman as a way to connect his young, creative, and stylish friends. Since then, it has developed into a sort of social media / marketplace with over 30 million users buying and selling used clothes in over 150 countries. Very basically, it's like Facebook, but instead of connecting university frat boys, it connected fashion enthusiasts, which sounds better. Taking cues from established social media platforms, Depop allowed users to like items, follow sellers, and while it was designed to help people get rid of their old clothes quickly, it became a place for users to essentially build their own online stores based on secondhand clothing. Which, make no mistake, is exactly what they're doing. Developing their own unique brand, curating items from thrift stores, then marking up the prices to make a profit. It's the perfect culmination of things for young, social media savvy people to start making extra cash while building a following. Many have been so successful that they're able to do this as a full-time job, which is great for them, but things have gotten a little out of control. And this is sadly not what Macklemore saw when he said,
"Draped in a leopard mink, girl standing next to me. Probably should have washed this. Smells like R. Kelly sheets. But shit, it was 99 cents.
A lot has changed since that song came out. Either way, you certainly won't be able to find much on Depop for 99 cents anymore. Depop has done impressive work popularizing secondhand clothing with younger generations, drawing millions of teenagers and young adults into the used fashion world. But in doing so, they kind of undermine some of the main points of thrifting in the first place. I mean, look at this. This person is selling Levi jeans for $125 when you can buy a new pair for 70 bucks. And this is not uncommon. See, the thing is, in order for Depop, PayPal, the government, and couriers, and the young entrepreneurs to make a profit off of all of this, it requires sellers to really ramp up the price. It's not enough for them to buy a shirt for $5 and then sell it for 10. They have to account for paying all of these different middlemen along the way. Depop alone takes 10% of all orders, with another 2.9% coming from PayPal, and then there's the taxes and the shipping fees, so that $5 shirt ends up being closer to $40 when it actually gets to your door. Now, I don't know about you, but kind of like the biggest draw to buying used is the fact that you can get a good deal. Like, I saw this pair of Coca-Cola jorts the other day at my local consignment shop, and they were only 20 bucks. And I'm not a jorts guy typically, but like, that's a good deal. But of course, buying from Depop is in many ways more convenient than driving down to your local Goodwill. This whole online revolution is theoretically bringing more thrifted clothing to more people, which is better for the planet. And don't worry, because Depop is getting a lot of credit for that too. But of course, there is a lot more going on than just what you see in that headline. Now, obviously, there's a bunch of stuff related to this that we aren't going to get into in this video. And that's why we've created a subreddit for all of you to go and check out and maybe contribute to. We wanted to create this little subreddit dedicated to the idea of future-proof businesses and what that looks like. This is a place where you can share new ideas or innovations or rumors of things that might be coming down the line to make the future a better place. So if that interests you and you're a Redditor and you want to share stuff and be a part of that community, there will be a link down in the description below. What local thrift shop and secondhand stores have that Depop will never be able to create is a real connection to the community that they're a part of. Most thrift stores originally were based on a charity or a local organization as a fundraising tool. For example, Beacon Community Services, an organization in my hometown, uses thrift stores to raise funds for all sorts of community services, and it doesn't exist for a profit. So everything that is sold in that store goes to support the people who need it. Here's where things get a little uncomfortable. Places like Depop have popularized hauling, getting to the thrift store early, buying mass amounts of stuff for the sole purpose of reselling it for much more money online. This is the resource extraction model applied to fashion. Miners go underground to extract the materials. A small amount of money is paid to the people who have it, and then they sell it for many times that when they get online. And the reality is, Depop isn't donating in the same way that these local organizations do. Many influencers have raised their voices over the gentrification trend that is already underway. In the case of Depop, the concern is that reselling is becoming so popular that thrift stores will no longer have supply for the people who really need it, effectively pricing them out of the used clothing market. Now, you might be thinking, well, this isn't great, but at least we know that the clothes are being sold and therefore they're not being wasted, right? They're not being thrown into landfill. Sadly, no. Because while Depop sellers and McClure are targeting the fur jackets and designer brands that still have value, the vast majority of clothing that gets donated isn't really worth much. Back in 2007, it was estimated that only 1/5 of clothing donated to American charities was actually used or sold. And it's gotten a lot worse since then. There are nowhere near enough people in America to absorb the mountains of cast-offs that we see going into these shops. This comes back to our obsession with cheap, low-quality clothing, but it also gets to another issue that we didn't really see coming. The thing is, not everything on Depop is actually used. Some sellers engage in the practice of drop shipping, which sounds cool, but actually isn't. This is where they basically purchase fast fashion crap from places like AliExpress, and then they sell it for a higher price on Depop, labeling these products as vintage or handmade or boutique or something. Seriously, that thing actually exists on there right now. Now sure, Depop says that you can't do this on their platform, and they seem to be cracking down on this particular issue, but dropshipping is still a problem. You have all these people trying to do the right thing by the planet by buying used, and they end up getting screwed over by false advertising. Now of course, all Depop sellers are not evil. A lot of them are good people just trying to make a living doing what they love. And I'm all for supporting that, especially if they're doing it intentionally, by the way that they source their products and the way that they sell them. But the reality is, Depop as a platform commodified the used clothing market and created a place where people could take advantage of others' good intentions. Now, of course, Depop is by and large better than buying stuff from places like Shein and H&M. So I'm hesitant to tell anyone that they shouldn't shop there instead, but that doesn't mean that we can't do better. The great thing about this whole Depop debate is that it reflects an encouraging reality. The modern consumer wants to make a difference. We like knowing that our hard-earned dollars shape the world that we're in a positive way, because make no mistake, they definitely do. Every dollar that you spend buying something secondhand rather than buying something online is a vote for a slightly more sustainable fashion industry. But if you want even more control over the impact that your dollars are making, consider doing your own thrift shopping at a local shop somewhere that contributes to the communities that you're a part of. And try to avoid the big ones like Value Village, Savers, and Goodwill, and the Salvation Army. There's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. We don't have time for that in this video. But in general, find a local spot because they're honestly awesome, they're employing people, and they're usually supporting causes that you'll care about. But perhaps you have a different opinion. We would love to hear what you have to say down below. Perhaps there's an anecdote that you want to share with us. And of course, if you do like this video, then consider hitting that subscribe button, and maybe we will see you for a future video down the road.
Smells like R. Kelly sheets. But shit, it was 99 cents.
Man, this song did not age well at all. It's a weird vibe. I think it was better when I was younger. This song came out 9 years ago. Oh my God, I'm old. What a weird world.